You've done everything right. Compared prices, read the reviews, maybe even used your credit card points to get a better deal on a Strip hotel. But the moment you check in, there it is at the bottom of your bill, a resort fee, $50 a night, mandatory, non-negotiable. And if you're sitting there thinking, what exactly am I paying for a gym I won't use and a pool I'll visit once? You're not alone. The average resort fee on the Las Vegas Strip right now runs anywhere from $35 to $65 per night, on top of whatever you already paid for your room. For a typical 3-night weekend trip, that's an extra $100 to $200 that never showed up when you were comparing prices online. Multiply that across the roughly 42 million visitors who come to Las Vegas every year, and you're looking at well over $1 billion collected annually. Not from gambling, not from hotel rooms, just from fees. Today, there is not a single major Strip hotel that doesn't charge one. But here's what almost nobody talks about. The real reasons behind this fee have absolutely nothing to do with amenities. They are deliberate, they are calculated, and they get worse as we go. In the next 15 minutes, we're counting down the 5 real reasons, the 5 ugliest motives behind the Las Vegas resort fee. And reason number 1 will make you question the very meaning of the word free. Let's start with number 5, the reason where it all began. Not with some sinister plot, but with a cold, calculated business strategy known as follow the leader. Let's go back to around 2009. In the midst of the economic crisis, 2 giants of the Las Vegas Strip, MGM Resorts and Caesars Entertainment, corporations that control the vast majority of hotel rooms, decided to run an experiment. They pioneered a mandatory charge called a resort fee, initially set at a fairly modest amount. Their public justification? To cover the cost of amenities like Wi-Fi and pools. But that was just a cover story. These market leaders knew that Vegas visitors were already primed to spend big. Adding a small, extra fee wasn't going to scare them away. And they were right. The experiment was a massive success. Their revenue soared without losing customers. Word spread quickly. Competitors like the Venetian and Wynn faced a difficult choice. Imagine you're the manager of the Bellagio. You want to be honest and list your all-inclusive room price at $150. But across the street, your competitor advertises just $130, only to quietly add a $20 resort fee on the checkout page. On price comparison websites, your hotel looks ridiculously expensive. To avoid losing business, you're forced to do the same. This is a classic example of the prisoner's dilemma from economics. Every hotel implicitly understands that if they all agreed to eliminate resort fees, the entire industry would benefit from increased customer trust. But no one dares to be the first to do it, because the risk of losing revenue is just too great. The result was an unstoppable domino effect. From that modest starting point, the fee has skyrocketed, reaching $50, even $60 per night by 2026 at some properties. Only small, independent hotels could afford to stay out of the game because they weren't under the same pressure to generate hundreds of millions in revenue. Years later, MGM's own CEO, Bill Hornbuckle, admitted in a meeting, "Shame on us." But that belated confession couldn't change anything. The systemic trap had been set, locking the entire industry in. This was the beginning, a competitive move made for survival. But once all the hotels were caught in the vortex, they began to realize this fee could be used for something much more sophisticated. If reason 5 was about keeping up with competitors, reason 4 is a strategy that turns every single guest into a cash cow for the Strip's titans. For decades, the main source of Vegas revenue came from the casino floor, but that income is notoriously volatile. It's packed during peak events like the Super Bowl, but dead quiet during the hot summer months or after the holidays, with occupancy sometimes dipping to 60%. Instead of taking a loss during the slow season, they came up with a solution. That solution is a resort fee, a 100% guaranteed stream of income from every single guest, including those who never set foot in the casino. Let's do some simple math. A 3,000-room hotel with an average occupancy of 80%, charging $50 a night, will make nearly $44 million a year from this effortless money grab. That's enough to cover payroll and operating costs, even during the months when the casino is empty. The bitterest part is that a huge portion of Vegas visitors are there for a vacation, a show, or a conference. They don't gamble, they don't use the pool, yet they're still forced to pay an extra $150 for a 3-night stay. A family of 4 thinks they've scored a bargain with a cheap room, only to be stunned at the front desk when the bill has ballooned. The hotels have turned their non-gambling guests into a rainy day fund to offset the cost of comping high rollers. Las Vegas is no longer just a gambling haven. It has become an extraction machine engineered to squeeze every last dollar out of its visitors. But turning customers into a printing press isn't even the most calculated part of this scheme. Reason number 3 is a new level of greed designed to leave you speechless at the check-in counter. Avoiding commission payments to online travel agencies or OTAs, the platforms we all use like Booking.com and Expedia, take a hefty commission, typically between 15% and 30% of the listed room rate. This means for every $100 you pay for a room, the hotel only keeps between $70 and $85. And this is where the deviously clever accounting comes in. The hotels realize that their contract with OTAs only require them to pay commission on the room rate, not on the resort fee. By splitting the price into 2 parts, they created the perfect financial loophole. Imagine a room with a true price of $170. Instead of listing it at that price and paying Expedia commission on the full amount, the hotel advertises an impossibly low room rate of $120, plus a $50 resort fee. The result? The hotel only pays commission on the $120, while keeping 100% of that $50 fee. The OTA doesn't see a single penny from the resort fee. This is how they exploit our bargain hunting psychology. You see a $120 room on Booking.com and excitedly book it, only to discover at check-in that the final bill is actually $170 a night. On that $50 fee, the hotel should pay the OTA between $7.50 and $15 if it were part of the room rate. But now, they just pocket the entire amount. Dodging partner commissions was a slick move to hoard every dollar. But the Vegas Giants went even further, using this fee to play a shady game with their civic duties. This brings us to reason number 2, one of the most infuriating parts of the whole scam. This is a reason that should make anyone who cares about fairness see red. Dodging hotel taxes, a dirty trick that makes the Strip's titans richer at the expense of public. In Clark County, where the Strip is located, the law mandated a hotel room tax of 13.38% on the room rate. This money is supposed to be used to build schools, repair roads, and serve the Nevada community. But the hotel corporations found a deviously clever way around this. They split the price in 2, an unbelievably cheap room rate and a mandatory resort fee. While the customer still pays a 13.38% tax on both charges, the trick is in the labeling. By calling $50 a service fee instead of rent, the hotels obscure their true revenue from the tax authorities, minimizing their tax burden compared to if they listed a single all-inclusive price. This trick turns a civic duty into an annoying line item attached to their fee. It drags unsuspecting tourists, especially families and seniors, into a shell game of accounting, where shareholder profit are prioritized over transparency and community contribution. A single 3,000-room hotel can avoid millions of dollars in taxes each year, money that rightfully belongs to Nevada's public funds. The Nevada government seems to tolerate it because the tourism industry accounts for nearly 60% of the state's GDP. No one dares to kill the golden goose. This is legal maneuvering at the highest level. Squeeze the customer, sidestep social responsibility, and do it all under the guise of business as usual. Playing games with customers and the community is bad enough, but what's more audacious than a fee designed to bend the law? It's being charged a fee for something that was advertised as free, and that is reason number 1. And here it is, the peak of hypocrisy that should make anyone's blood boil. Giving away a free room, but still charging a $50 fee, the ultimate two-faced move by the major casinos. Giants like MGM and Caesars routinely gift free rooms to high rollers, the VIP guests willing to burn tens of thousands of dollars in a single night to lure them back to the tables. This is known as a comped room, a gesture of appreciation for the casino's golden geese. But free is a trap. Imagine you're a VIP player graciously invited by the casino for a complimentary stay. But when you get the check-in desk, you're stunned when the clerk informs you, Sir, your room is $0, but there's a mandatory resort fee of $50 per night. The so-called gift still requires you to open your wallet. It's a cold calculation. A high roller might lose $10,000 at the tables. So the casino generously gives them a room worth $0, but still claws back a guaranteed $50 in fees. They are being courted and fleeced at the exact same time. While it's true that the highest tier players in loyalty programs often get the fee waived, thousands of other valuable players still end up paying for their free room. The height of this audacity is that VIPs, the very people who generate the most revenue for the casino, are still forced to pay a trivial fee for Wi-Fi and pool access they probably never even use. Regular guests are already squeezed, but now even the VIPs have become victims of this bottomless greed. This is no longer business. It's a strategy to drain every possible dollar from everyone, including the most loyal customers. So, after learning about all these tricks, what can we actually do about it? First, and most importantly, always scroll to the bottom to check the total cost. Before you confirm any booking, look at the final number that includes all taxes and fees. That is the only price that matters. Second, search for hotels that do not charge resort fees, although they are becoming rare. Some options still exist, often slightly off-strip or in the downtown area, like Casino Royale or certain properties there. Third, leverage loyalty programs. If you are a member with one of the major hotel groups, check your benefits. At the higher status levels, you can often get the resort fee waived entirely. Finally, don't be afraid to ask questions. When you're checking out, if you have an issue with a charge, ask the staff about it. While the chance of having it removed is very low, the more customers who speak up, the more pressure it puts on the industry to change in the future. I've made videos on the top 5 hotels with no hidden fees and the top 5 with the most ridiculous hidden fees. So be sure to check those out after this. So, as we've seen, the resort fee in Las Vegas is much more than a simple charge for amenities. It's a strategic domino effect. It started as a competitive move, then morphed into a stable moneymaker, a tax-dodging scheme, a way to shortchange partners, and finally, a way to charge money even for free gifts. The next time you plan a trip to Las Vegas, be a savvy traveler. Always remember that the advertised price is only half the truth. If you found this video helpful, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. What's been your experience with resort fees? Share your story in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.